Hi, I'm Nick Ross for iTWire. Today we're talking with John Baker, who is the CEO of D2L. Hi, can you tell us your role and what you do?
Hi, Nick. I'm the founder of D2L, and so it's a company I started in my third year of university. This was over 20 years ago now, to go out there and transform the way the world learns. So I decided to tackle one key question, which was, what's the most important problem I could solve that would have the biggest impact on the world? And for me, it was the ability for us to transform the learning experience. Learning has this wonderful ripple effect from one person to the next, through our communities, campuses, from one generation to the next. And so I set out to build a learning platform that could make the experience better, to break down barriers and to engage people, to help them achieve more than they ever dreamed possible. So been building that learning platform for now just over 20 years and working with all kinds of clients all over the world.
So in all your years at the helm of D2L then, you must have noticed the e-learning environment changing quite a bit. What can you tell us that has changed in that time?
Well, when we first started working with clients here in the region, many of them were using paper and traditional methods of delivering education in the class. What we're seeing today is a huge demand for online learning. So learning that can be done on a phone, on a tablet, on any type of device, and done anywhere at any time. And so it's really optimizing the learning experience around the student. And those could be students that might be taking online courses at the same time as showing up to campus, or it could be supporting an upskilling strategy for a company, helping them better onboard new employees, helping them become better experts in their craft, enabling them to gain new skills that are going to be needed for the future of work. And so today we're serving all kinds of different markets and doing it in a way that leverages not just simply digitizing what we used to do in the classroom, but now starting to really optimize for better outcomes, better engagement, better retention, and then ultimately transforming the experience as we move up that technology adoption curve to doing things that we used to think was impossible 20 years ago. Now it's commonplace.
And what's your best known, most used product?
So most of our clients are using what we call D2L Brightspace, which is a learning platform that's used by over 16 million people worldwide every day. And in that case, everything that you can imagine in the traditional classroom experience has now gone digital using this platform to support that class experience, but also to support fully online learning, from quizzes to discussions to submitting assignments to getting feedback from professors. All of that's within that platform.
And what are the latest developments on the platform?
Yeah, so what we're really zeroing in on, especially post-pandemic, is trying to address engagement with students. And so for us, at the heart of that, it's really making sure that there's good feedback, whether it's with a teacher in a school or a professor in a university, or getting great feedback from a mentor in the workplace. That's at the heart of driving engagement, which drives better outcomes for learning. And so we've been putting a lot of work into those workflows around making sure it's easy to leave video feedback, or to give people a quick evaluation using a rubric for consistency, and just really fine-tuning that engagement. We also launched recently a lot of work around what we call Creator Plus, which is the ability for us to take 20 years plus of instructional design practice and learning science and make it easy for anybody to create really engaging learning experiences with all kinds of interactives, flip card exercises, timelines, simulations, you name it, all within just a few drag and drop actions, if you will. So basically, instead of having to get a videographer and a content creator and a designer and an animator, that's now being put at the fingertips of everybody. And so what we're seeing with that is it creates great content. So it goes beyond just simply watching a video and reading some content now and taking a quiz, to now being able to have really engaging interactives within the courses, and then followed up with good practices where you can assess whether the student has learned what you're trying to teach. And so instead of the student waiting for an exam or waiting for a big quiz that's high stakes, they can get that immediate right, wrong, a little bit of feedback in the voice of the educator, and it really helps them encode what's right and wrong. I consider it almost a step function improvement in the quality of how we teach people today. And it's, again, just making it easy for folks to apply that, 2 decades of learning science to how we teach every day.
So you partly answered my next question, but how's D2L different to other LMSs? I can never say that right.
It's okay. There's lots of different acronyms in our space, but in our case, we're the only company that's not private equity owned. We're a founder-backed company that's publicly traded still, but at the heart, we're still very mission-driven. So we're working with clients to build collaborative roadmaps to enable us to really have an impact on the core workflows that have a difference in the lives of students and educators and employers all around the world. And so we're pulling away from our competitor set in terms of being able to deliver on that real transformation that they're all looking for as they continue to digitize their schools, their universities, and their companies. And another big thing that differentiates us is the work that we're doing around upskilling. So we've launched a new platform called D2L Wave, which is free for companies to roll out, which enables companies to take upskilling programs from top-tier academic providers. And just manages all the challenges associated with giving employees a budget, pre-approving courses that they could take, aligning those to the future skills that the employer is going to want and the employee is going to need for their career development, just making all of that challenge, if you will, a lot easier for folks. And so connecting this ecosystem of upskilling in the workplace with great education is a big differentiator for us these days.
I understand you're doing something special with accessibility and diversity training.
Yeah, so in our case, one of the big barriers that existed when we built the initial platform many years ago was if you're blind or deaf, you couldn't participate equally with everybody else. And so we're the best learning platform in the world that makes it easier for someone that's blind or deaf to participate equally with everybody. There were students that went back to campuses after the pandemic asking for accommodations, and the professors were scratching their head, what do you need an accommodation? And the student would say, well, because I'm blind. And the professor had no idea. They'd been teaching the student for over 2 years and had no idea they were actually having a requirement for an accommodation. So we can, with technology, really break down these barriers. Wave is another example of providing upskilling to help people understand how to leverage technology in new ways, to help support universal design for learning, to teach people how to really engage in these topics. And there's also wonderful clients that we have here in Australia that build courses for workplaces in terms of how to make sure that they're building their products to meet accessibility requirements. And everyone thinks that this should be sort of an add-on. We'll build this product and then we'll make it accessible later. We think of it as almost a bedrock foundation for how you build. If you make it part of your culture as you build technology to make sure that you're including everybody so that everyone can use it equally, it actually improves the learning experience for everybody. Because who hasn't been in a busy street that wants to put on the earpods and just listen? Who doesn't want to sometimes just turn off the audio because they're wanting to just look at the closed captions? Or just simply read. And so the ability for you to tackle this universal design experience makes it easier for everyone to learn.
And if you could give one piece of advice to organizations about getting them to improve employee engagement and retention, what would it be?
Feedback is at the heart of driving engagement and retention. And so, if you set very clear expectations in terms of what we're trying to accomplish, or as an employee, or as a student in terms of here's the goals for the program. And then with feedback, you're giving them a reason to persist. You're helping them understand, how they're progressing, what they need to work on, what you're going to be looking for in the next one. You're giving them comfort that they're in a spot where they can learn and grow, and that they're getting good advice to be the best they can possibly be. And it's through feedback that enables people to become real leaders, leaders in their craft, leaders as people leaders. And that really helps inspire them to achieve even more. And so if I was giving one piece of feedback, it would be that. And then there's some really cool cutting edge research that's just come out around the concept of growth mindset. There's another piece that's sort of branched off of that around stress is performance enhancing. A lot of folks, don't know this, but if you have a mindset, if you literally believe that stressful circumstances are how you learn, and they're not actually performance degrading, they actually enhance your performance. Maybe with the exception of stress at sleep time, we don't want that. But all the other forms of stress actually help us learn. It's how we're actually learning. It's how we know we're learning. And if you can get that mindset shift, what we're seeing with some of the research is that you can see almost a 30% lift in scores for students And so there are some great learning science pieces that are coming out that will help improve performance, but I keep coming back to that great one around feedback and really understanding a good mindset in terms of how to approach great learning experiences.
Can't help thinking that there can be too much stress in some instances that prevent learning, but I totally get your point on that one. Okay. My experience of e-learning means that there's some pretty new and very useful methods that LMSs can employ, including microlearning, spaced repetition, and peer learning, amongst many others. How does Brightspace include those?
We support all of those strategies, including like beyond pure learning, cohort-based learning as well too. These are all big, important strategies to employ from a learning science perspective. Spaced repetition is a great way to help people really remember, understand, and code what's right and what's wrong, and be able to test themselves over a period of time and really reinforce the learning that's happening. Micro credentials and micro learning are a great way for people to pick up skills one piece at a time. So, for example, our D2L Wave product enables you to perhaps complete an MBA program just one course at a time until you actually stack it into that bigger certificate or bigger degree or bigger program. And so all of these tools, if you will, are great ways for us to create new pathways for students, to create new ways for them to engage in the courses, to get inspired, to help them learn. And I think these are really important.
So I'm going to chuck in another one there. Gamification. How do you see that fitting into learning?
So we've been building gaming engines for a long time and see a huge impact. We're seeing completion rates and retention go up in classes that are gamifying some of their programs. You create leaderboards. You could literally have a game board as they go through the different key outcomes for the course. They unlock a next level. The ability for you to have competitions and avatars and really build connection. And by the way, this doesn't just work in schools. It also works in universities. It works in companies. It creates a bit of fun as you're going through these learning experiences.
How can potential partners work with you? Direct sales or through the channel or what?
So we mostly go through direct, especially in this region, although we have channel partners all over the world. But they can reach out at D2L.com, and we'd be happy to follow up at any point, whether they're a company trying to implement new learning for their employees or for their clients, or a university or school system. We're here to help.
And is there anything else you'd like to add while you've got the ear of the iTWire B2B audience in Australia?
Well, we're here at a conference. We just hosted one in Brisbane. We're doing another one tomorrow in Melbourne. And the key topic is around artificial intelligence being applied to education. We're also having conversations around cybersecurity and the impact that education can have there in terms of driving better cybersecurity posture within the world, and the upskilling that presents itself as an opportunity for both AI and cyber. And there's many other topics that I would love to explore with you at some point. I think when we think about the disruptions that are sweeping through education and through our world today, there's never been a more impactful time to be providing education and upskilling to help people pivot to new opportunities, to upskill so that they're ready for the jobs that they're doing today, and to be able to capture the opportunities that are in front of us.
Okay, John Baker, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Nick. Thanks, and have a great day.
And you.